So we have found on different dairies where the mixers may have not been calibrated or calibrated for a while. You may have changed knives in the mixer, or you may have relined the mixer, things of this nature, and we need to recalibrate the scales. So first we're going to start off with showing how to calibrate Digistar 2400, which this accounts for the EZ2 series scales. So a 2400, a 2500, 3400s, 3500s, and 3600 scales. And this is how we'll go about calibrating that using a platform scale or a weigh bridge. So first you would want to go across and get a light weight of the mixer. So you'll take that mixer across the scales on the weigh bridge and get a light weight of that. Then we will come to our scale and we will now load the mixer up. We want to try to get that mixer as close to a maximum capacity as possible. So you'll want to first go ahead and zero out the scale and then begin loading it. So we'll go ahead and we'll load that close to the max capacity of the mixer. So for this one, we will get it up about 20,000 pounds. Now this can be whether you're doing it in pounds or whether you're doing it in kilograms, the process is still the same. So we'll get this weight up into close to our 20,000 or close to that max capacity, and we will go back and get a heavy weight now on that platform scale. So the difference between that heavy weight and the light weight will then be what's displayed here on the scale. If it's not the same, then our mixer may be out of calibration. How to then calibrate the mixer on a 2400, you want to push the net gross button and then the on button and hold them together. It will then say press select or net gross for menu buttons. So we can continue pressing this net button until we get calib on the screen. It will say calib on the screen, and we will go ahead and press on. So it'll be tcal. We'll press on right there. It'll show and display the weight that we currently have in the box. Press on again, and it'll say add weight. So we already have the weight added in, and we can press on. It'll say calib, and this is where we will now key in that difference weight that we got from the platform scales. So on the platform scale here, we had actually read 18,260. So we are going to then use our function and select buttons. Your select button will count up on the numbers. As you can see this going all the way up, it'll hit 9 and go back to a 0. And then it'll move over. Your function key will move over to the right or left there. And then we will continue counting up, since that one was already the same. Once we have the inputted number into the scale, we will go ahead and press the on button. It'll now say good, and that will be our new known weight there. So it'll come back and say select net or gross. You will come and push your net button until it says exit, and then press on. It will go back to the weight that is in the box, which will be the weight that we keyed in. So that will be how we will calibrate a 2400 or any of those EZ2 series scales. So now we're going to show a 2810 scale or a 10 series. So this will also work for the 3610 and the 4610 scales if you have those. So on these scales, you will want to go ahead and get your light weight on the platform scale, and then you're going to go ahead and get into the settings on the scale. So on the scale, you will come in and push 8121 and press select. So it'll do the weight calibration. It's going to go ahead and say 0 the scale. So I'm going to go ahead and press my 0. It'll say press and hold, and it will 0 my scale. So now that it's zeroed out, I can go ahead and go and add my weight. So I'm going to go and add the weight. Again, we want to add as close to the max capacity of the mixer as possible. So we're going to go and add a bunch of weight and get us close to 20,000 pounds here. Now this will work the same in pounds or in kilograms. It does not matter which one it is. So we're going to add that weight here, and then we're going to go get that heavy weight done. So now that we've added that weight to the scale, we're going to go get the heavy weight across the platform scale. And then we will come in and we will push the on button. So it'll say cal here, and it will now show the last number blinking. With this scale, since we have the number pad here, we can actually key in the weight that is on the platform scale. So once we have keyed in that number, that difference from that heavy weight and the light weight, we can then go ahead and press our on key. We'll press our on key and it will say good, and then it will go back to our weights, and it will display the weight of which we entered in. So the weight that is now in the box. So that is how you would calibrate a 2810 or a 10 series scale.